Good morning, everyone. It's Henry on the live stream. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope everyone can hear me and can see my screen very clearly. If you cannot hear me or cannot see my screen very clearly, please indicate so that I can have that fixed before we commence. So this morning, the first one we're going to look at is the US dollar index. And as you can see, the US dollar index, the key level I outlined on the US dollar index. The inefficiency, I said I will be anticipating to see a move into this inefficiency yesterday, and as you can see, prices in that inefficiency. So two things are going to happen right here. It's either we're going to run into it and continue to the upside, hunting for the overall buy side liquidity, which I outlined being this one. That is the first thing I'll be anticipating to see, because if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, we went from lower high and the lower low, lower high, lower low, run on liquidity, lower high, lower low, a lower high, and the potential lower low right here, and then a lower high and a lower low. So we went from creating these lower highs and lower low, and here we saw a break of structure, a retest, and then a potential expansion. So two things are involved. This is going to be a retest for a potential continuation to run the overall high, or whatever price is coming to right here, this inefficiency. If this inefficiency right here or this liquidity fails to act as a resistance zone to send price to the downside, if it fails to act as resistance and price runs above it, running the liquidities right here and even breaking this high, then that means my next draw is going to be this overall high right here. That'll be the next key level I'll be anticipating to see price draw to. So that is what I'm watching on the dollar. The next one we're going to look at euro as well. I talked about euro, my euro analysis, and the key level I'm watching for euro to come down into. And so far I talked about this key level. As you can see, there's an inefficiency resting right there. Let me remove everything on the chart. You can see there's an inefficiency resting right there, liquidity. So if price comes into that position, I'll be watching it closely. If I do see a smaller time frame shift to market structure, 5 minutes or 15 minutes shift to market structure to the upside from this key level, I'll look for a buy for this to continue higher. But if we come in there and I don't see any shift to market structure in the smaller time frame, then that means most likely this is going to be the next run on liquidity. And if price drops below this low, it simply means that this overall low is going to get taken out. That's literally what that means. If this low goes, this low is going as well. So that is what I'm watching for euro US dollar. There's not really so much going on in the market this week for euro and the dollar. They really seem so lethargic, but hopefully we do see price come in here and show us a rejection. If that doesn't happen, then this low right here will be the next run on liquidity. So that is my analysis on euro US dollar. Next one we're going to take a look at is USD card, what USD card is doing so far. For USD card, showing me signs of an impulse move to the upside, as you can see on USD card. After it came to my point of interest right here, mitigated the inefficiency, broke 5-minute structure, created a higher low, broke structure, came down for retest. You can see this right here would have been the perfect entry. Bodies of the candle, if I wanted to buy it, I'll most likely prefer to see at least a 2 minutes break of structure. And right here was the overall 2 minutes break. So I wouldn't be surprised to see price revisit this key level. So if I was to get in, this would have been a best entry. Stop loss will be here. But I'm honestly not in the trade and I'm not interested in buying it. But if I was to pick a side, whether to be a buyer or a seller. With the intraday bullish structure, I prefer to buy it to run this buy side liquidity, because as you can see, we're still within this range low, range high. We've not really broken any significant structure to the downside for me to look for a sell. So for now, I'm just gonna have to either be on the sidelines or look for a potential entry to buy it to run the buy side. So until we break significant 4-hour or daily low, I'm still gonna be anticipating for a higher price on USD CAD. So that is my analysis on USD CAD. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. So the next one we're going to look at is Aussie dollar, what the market is doing on Aussie. For Aussie dollar, this right here is the last line of defense for Aussie. If Aussie is going to go to the downside, this is the position for that to happen. And if this position fails, then we'll continue higher to run this buy side liquidity. I still remain bullish on Aussie, irrespective of the fact that I wanted to buy it from this key level. But that's the thing with the markets, anything can happen. So you can see on Monday we created the low of the week, so potentially we're going to continue higher the rest of the week. Today is Thursday, so I'm not really expecting any awesome trades anymore from the week. The fact that we missed this right here, that was the end for me. The fact that price reacted from here and continued higher. So you can see I was anticipating to buy from this key level, but that didn't happen. So I'm just gonna have to be on the sidelines because my analysis didn't play out as I wanted it to. That is one thing to take note in trading. Price need to do what you want to see for you to take a trade. If it doesn't, then it simply means you have to be on the sidelines. So that is my analysis on Aussie dollar. And the next one we're going to look at is US oil. For US oil, as you can see, if you're drawing the Fibonacci from the high to the low, this is extreme discount. Price came to extreme discount, expanded higher, broke a significant daily structure, showing us that we are bullish. US oil bullish. All we're now looking for is an opportunity to buy. This is the next range where we're anticipating to see price gravitate to. Our next drawn liquidity, relative equal highs. This is where we want to see the market gravitate to. Now we're working with this range high, range low. If we draw the Fibonacci from the range high to the range low, this right here is our extreme discount. Look what's resting right there, inefficiency. And if we even scale lower, low resistance liquidity, inefficiency, and overall, remember, this was the key level that I actually wanted to buy from. So what do we do now with this analysis? We wait. Now, in as much as price going from this high to this low is about 4.48%, you have to realize that US oil is very volatile. Literally from this low to this high, 13% move to the upside, which means doing a 4% move to the downside is absolutely nothing. It can do that even in 2 days. So we're going to be patient. We're going to wait right here. When price comes in here, we'll look for a buy, and then we're going to buy this and target the overall highs. Because if you look at this, if we should see that retracement to the downside, overall 13%, if we do see price come down in here, we'll be anticipating for another 13% move to the upside. And look, 13% move to the upside sends us above this key level. So any entry from here, my take profit is going to be this high. So that is my analysis on this one. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. So the next thing we're going to look at gold as well, what gold is doing so far. Personally, I'm really not a fan of trading gold lately, with the whole consolidation and down and up and down up move, I really wouldn't put my money on the line on gold. And if we're looking at what price has been doing from this high to this low, 5%, from this high to this low, 4%. So if we create a new high, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3% move to the downside. So you can see how I do the quantitative analysis. I don't really allow it to be complicated. Whatever price has done previously, I use it to judge what to see. So you can see from the high to the low is 5%, and then from this high to this low is 4%. So whatever high price creates here, I wouldn't, let's say we create a high from here, from that inefficiency, I'll be looking at price doing a 3% move to the downside. And look what happens. 3% move aligns with the key level that I've always wanted to buy gold from. The perfect key level for me to look for a buy aligns with that. 5%, 4%, 3%. So you can see it's given diminishing returns each time it's dropping to the downside. The returns are diminishing. So if I do see price come down here, that would be a perfect area for me to look for a buy on gold and potentially anticipate a continuation to the upside to run the buy side liquidity and create a new all-time high. So that's my analysis. If you do have any questions based off my analysis, feel free to drop it in the charts. So the next one we're going to be looking at is GBP US dollar, what GBP US dollar is doing. Personally, GBP US dollar, I still remain bullish on GBP US dollar, but I most preferably would like to buy GBP US dollar below this lows. And look, we came up into this inefficiency, and after mitigating the inefficiency right here, after that mitigation, we're rejecting of that key level, so I'm not going to be surprised to see it's dunking here. Mitigate this. That would be the most preferable area that I would like to buy GBP US dollar. So that is all from me for GBP US dollar. We're going to look at pound yen. So for pound yen, like I've always stated, we're still in a consolidation range, and I want to see it break above this high, creating its own structure on the daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, and then it's only when I see that structure get violated that I'm going to be interested in looking for sell for GBP Japanese yen. But until then, I'll be on the sidelines. The price action lately hasn't been the best, and it's not really something I would advise anyone to trade because of the up and down move, and we're already at an extreme premium. So price is also extended. Why would I want to put my money on the line on this? I'd rather just be on the sidelines. So if price creates a new higher high on the 4-hour or daily, then I'll want to see a break to the downside. If I see a solid break on the daily, that is the only time I'll start to sell this. But if I don't see that, then that means we're going to continue going to the upside. So that is my analysis. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. The next one we're going to be looking at is we're going to have a look at GBP, Euro GBP. And for Euro GBP, the key level I outlined right here. Price had an impulse move and then a retracement. I'm anticipating to see another impulse move to draw us into this position. And if we do come in there, and I'll be looking out to see a shift in market structure on the smaller time frame. If I do see that, then I'll look for sell for days to go to the downside. So that is my analysis on Aussie, dollar, euro, GBP JPY, USD CAD, US oil, gold, GBP US dollar, and Euro GBP. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. So far for NAS 100, there's absolutely nothing to trade right here. I'm not putting my money on the line on this one. It's just been it's just been expanding really well, And if we had held on to that trade we got into from here, we would have been up like over 20% on just one setup. So, but personally, there isn't really any data backing up the price will come as high as it is right now. So that is why it's most preferable to take the profit you made and call it a day. You can basically see we got in around here and we got out around here. 2.34% made us 8%. So that means if we held onto it from here to 8%, we would have made more than 3 times what we made. So we would have made at least 25 to 30% on that trade. But it is what it is. We took the profits. We'll call it a day. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and also at Ethereum. So for Bitcoin, our analysis, we were watching this high and the low, a break of structure. Price came down to our point of interest right here. Wanted to see a 30-minute break of structure to the upside. We created a high, a low break of structure, left an inefficiency. Price came in there. Want to see a 4 minutes break of structure to the upside, and so far you can see very nicely price created a high, a low, failed to create a lower low, broke structure, borders of the candle, last down close candle, perfect entry, and then we saw an expansion. So if I was on this trade, this would have been my entry. I literally saw this play out, but I didn't get into the trade because I wanted it to come down a little bit deeper. So if I was on the trade, this would have been the take profit, 1:5 risk to reward ratio. And the reason why I would have gotten out at this key level is because of the inefficiency resting right there. As you can see, the inefficiency. That would have been a beautiful exit. And I'm still bullish. I still want this to continue higher. But irrespective of that happening, anything can happen and price can still come down for a run on sell side liquidity one last time. I've seen that happen before. It can happen again, but there's no certainty that's going to happen. Price can decide to continue higher and never come down here again. But personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching this closely. Before the end of the day, potentially I'll place a limit order right here. Buy limit order, stop loss 2-3 pips below this low, and here will be my entry, because a lot of traders that are already in this trade, stop loss is going to be here now or here most likely. So I wouldn't be surprised if price wants to come down for a run on stop losses for a potential continuation to the upside. So that is what I'm watching on this one. Hopefully we do see price come down here and activate us for an entry into the marketplace. So I'll leave a buy limit order position right here on this one. I'm definitely gonna do that. So just be on the lookout for that when I have that updated. So the next one, the last but not the least, is Ethereum. Like I said, Ethereum, I'm very bullish on Ethereum. I want to see Ethereum continue higher. And so far, as you can see on Ethereum, created a high, created a low, broke structure. This was the last down close candle before breaking structure. I wanted to see a retest at the key level. We retested it. I want to see significant 30 minutes or 15 minutes break of structure to the upside, and as you can see, we broke structure significantly right here. And after that break of structure, next thing I want to know is the key level that facilitated the break of structure to the upside. And if we start to scale down, we can see, yes, this is the last down close candle before expanding to break structure. But don't forget that overall, we're still working with a 4-hour break of structure, which is this high and this low, and this got broken. So this is our main key level that we're watching. And after price broke that structure, this was the high I wanted to see a retest on. And a 15 minutes break of structure is the major thing I wanted to see. And here is the high and the low, and this is the break of structure for me on 15 minutes time frame. And this right here was the last down push before an expansion to break this structure. So this is my most preferable area that I want to buy from. If price doesn't come here, I'm just going to have to be on the sidelines. And take note, what we have right here, as much as it looks so beautiful, this is a low resistance liquidity, and I wouldn't really be surprised to see a drop below it to wipe out the sell side liquidity resting right here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen, and if it happens, then that means this key level will be the next draw on liquidity. And right here is where I'm going to be anticipating for a buy position on Ethereum. This is where I'm going to be piling up all my positions. Once price is in here, I'm looking for a buy to enter and potentially continue to the upside. So that is what I'm watching on Ethereum, and hopefully we do get price come down here to mitigate it and activate us on our first position. And then the second position is going to be a smaller time frame, shift to market structure. Most likely I'll be watching to see a 3 minutes break of structure. I will work with 3/5 minutes break of structure. The reason I'm working with 3 minutes/5 minutes is because it also aligns with a 1 hour time frame. But personally, my most preferable break of structure is usually the 5 minutes time frame. But in this case, because we're working with 15 minutes break of structure right here, price coming in here, I'll wait for a 3 minute shift to market structure to the upside, and the moment I see that, I'll be looking for an entry to continue higher. So that is my analysis, and if you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. So I appreciate you all for tuning in, and if you do have any question based off my analysis, whether it's from the one I talked about, forex like euro, pound, Aussie, pound yen, oil, USD card, or you have any question based on my crypto analysis, feel free to drop it in the chat. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you on the next live stream. Have an amazing day, everyone.